Hey guys, Portia here, and today I wanted to share with you all how to sublimate a Clack fan. Oh, I did it, y'all. I did it right. I had to practice though. These are really fun to do, so let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing that I wanted to share with you all is how I set up my design for print. Of course, there's going to be multiple ways to do this, but personally for me, the decision came down to honestly the tools that I had. So the fan that I am working with is 25 inches by 13 inches. And the press that I want to use today is 15 by 15. So the press is too small to press it all in one go. So I want to show you the first way to set up your design, which is to get a template. So this first template is 25 by 13. You are able to just drag an image in here. The next one is also 25 by 13, but the radius is a bit wider. So if you wanted to just drag something over, what you do is just pick something like that color splash there. We have some cherry blossoms, and when you went to print, it would just print in the area where the image is. Now, if you had a large enough printer to handle that, as well as a large enough press, I would totally say go for it. But that is not the option that I am going to use today. Oh, and just to show you guys, this is the picture I will be using, and I did put it in the template just to see how it was gonna look. Played around with it a little bit, changed up the background, all that good stuff. You guys get the point. The option that I am going to go with is the largest that my printer can print is 13 by 19. So I pull the image in to Canva here as large as it can go. So I'm going to print the full image on 13 by 19, and this is going to be our main focal point. And then I am going to print these words out. Now I don't need to print the words on 13 by 19 paper because that would just be a waste, but I definitely needed to print the main photo here. So what I am going to do is end up pressing in a couple of parts. So I did leave the background white because I wanted the image to breathe, and I didn't want to really pack it because that would require me to do a little bit more work, and we ain't doing all that today, y'all. So what's going to happen is I am going to print this out, and then I'll also print out our words, which will end up right here and right here, and I will meet you guys over at the work table. We are all printed out, and just in case I did not mention it, this lovely image is from Creative Fabrica. I will link it below, as well as all the other tools that I'm using in today's video. We see our font here, and just in case I didn't mention it, the font is called Stylish. Also got that from Creative Fabrica, and I did add a little bit of color here, just to zhuzh up that section of our fan just a little bit more. So the other thing I did, like I mentioned earlier, I printed this out in two pieces. So we have the whole lady on the 13 by 19 inch paper, and then I just put this on the regular 8.5 by 11, cut it out and placed it where I wanted to. So now we have a whole piece. Now let me go ahead and get our fabric. Now the fabric was really wrinkled, and guys, I got the fan where the fabric was pre-installed because I was not paying attention. So that's where you see like the glue lines here. So because it's double-sided tape, all I did was just removed it, and this isn't going to mess up our press at all or anything like that. But I want to tell you the fabric was wrinkled, and you want to make sure it lays as flat as possible. So I did steam it just a little bit, and I let it completely dry so that we can prepare it to tape down. So what I am going to do is position the fabric to capture the majority of our image. So of course none of this is going to transfer, and then none of this. And if I had used the template, all we would have had is our rainbow shape here, but I didn't. But we still gonna get the job done. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our tape down I think I want to start in the middle and then pretty much work my way out from there. Tape down done. My main goal here was to ensure that the two pieces adhere together well and that as I move it there was minimal shifting. Now the other piece that I want to add to this is going to be parchment paper, because as I move the image and the fabric through my heat press, I want to ensure that I don't transfer any ink to the wrong part of the image or to the press pad itself. So I'm going to get that taped down, and this just helps keep me organized. This looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and move over to the press. As I mentioned, we'll be pressing in 3, and I want to start with the center first. So I have that laid down, if you guys can see. We are going in at 380 degrees for 45 seconds, and it's at 50 pounds. But the goal to keep in mind here is the light pressure. We want to go with light pressure because the fabric itself is kind of thin, so we don't want to burn it. I do recommend, if you can, test it out just to make sure that your settings are proper and you don't ruin your project. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our center section first. All right, I'll shift our sheet and then we will do the, let's see, I'll start on the right side first. All right, and then our last section. All right, guys, I will meet you guys back over at the work table. Isn't this beautiful, guys? I really like how vibrant and bold the colors are coming through. This honestly could be a piece onto itself, like a wall hanging, but of course that's a video for another time. Now it is time to assemble. If you weren't frantic like me and just put it in the cart and not realize it was already assembled, then yours definitely came disassembled, and on your ribs you would have double-sided tape. Now as for me, I will be adding the double-sided tape as I go along, but a couple of things I want to point out. So as I mentioned before, this piece as a whole is called a rib. Each one of these is called a guard. One guard goes down facing out, and the other guard goes on this way, and you'll see that being done during assembly. Now the double-sided tape that I'm going to use is going to be approximately 7.5 inches, and it'll adhere directly, I don't know what side I'm going to put it on yet, the fabric or either the rib itself. But on mine, I have a little bit of a cheat sheet because I did disassemble. Now, as I can see right here, I know where each and every rib should go. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 ribs, and I am going to distribute them evenly. Now, if you were starting from scratch and you don't have a guide, there is approximately 3.5 inches in between each rib. So make sure you guys measure twice, because when you go to flick your fan open and close, you want to make sure that the weight is evenly distributed so that it will function properly. Anywho, what I want to do is start, I think I'll start at this center line here, and I am going to place the double-sided tape right there down our center line. I'm gonna find my center rib, and I need to make sure, so this is the front side of the fan and this is the back, so I need to make sure that when I find the right rib that the fan is facing the right way. I'm gonna start right here, and I'm going to get that rib pressed down firmly.
On to the next one, I want to place the guard on. So grab a piece of tape. Right there. Then I am going to start at the bottom here. I'm just going to pretty much line it up. And then make sure I like the placement before I press it all the way down. All right, that looks pretty good. And guys, what I'm going to do from here is just go one by one, placing each rib back into the proper position. All right, guys, I got all my ribs down. The guards are properly placed, one on the outside, one on the inside. Turn her over, one on the outside, one on the inside. And guys, it is time for the flick test. So I'm going to adjust my camera because I don't think I can flick the right way from right here. So let's go ahead and get folded back in. And then I'm going to adjust my camera to see if we can flick our fan. There we have it, guys. I love the flick, the clack, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have any tips or tricks, I would love to hear from you all in the comments. But if you have any questions or concerns, emotional outbursts, let me know. If you found the video helpful or just plain old entertaining, could you go ahead and give it a like? But guys, as always, stay colorful, stay creative, and always find joy in the little things you do. Until next time, wait. Peace.